everybody, and welcome to another episode of John and Wendy Explain the World live on the Outlaw Nation channel. I am the Outlaw John Rocha, joined as always by Wendy. Wendy, how are you on this Friday?
I am doing so great. I had an acai bowl this morning. I got some Cobra coffee. My morning is made.
Cobra coffee!
Acai bowl!
I gotta tell you, I went to Target the other day, and I was just roaming around the Target because I do that sometimes.
What did you not buy?
Yeah, I did not buy this. There apparently is a Blu-ray version of the Karate Kid out there with all the Cobra guys on the front and nothing of Daniel LaRusso, nothing of the Karate Kid. And I'm like, you guys have gone too far. You've gone too far. It was a fun joke, and I'm glad you turned it into a Netflix show. But the Karate Kid is about Daniel LaRusso, damn it. It is not about the Cobra Kai. They're not heroes. Nope. I don't care what you show me now.
Yeah. I'd be actually kind of like, I'm all for, Cobra Kai, and we're going to talk about that on today's show, of course. Yeah. But, wouldn't you rather have, Mr. Miyagi and LaRusso on the thing? Put bonsai trees on it. I don't know. Because, they're all about the bonsai and the wax on and wax off. And I haven't seen that movie forever. But
put the Cobra guys on the perimeter. On the perimeter. Yeah. But put up. Yeah, exactly. The crane kick and all of that. For God's sakes, what's wrong with these people? Anyway.
Marketing. Because, I'm betting because, some of the younger generation, those who didn't grow up with the Karate Kid are not going to recognize the Karate Kid, maybe. But they might see the Cobra Kai and be like, ah.
Right.
So when they pop in the DVD, they're going to be like, wait, what? It's not about Cobra Kai. I don't know why I think kids today sound like that. They don't. They sound like how you and I sound. Sorry.
They're very aware of things. You're right. That's very true. You're right. And they get on TikTok, they're making a crap ton. All right, we're going to get into so many things going on in the world of entertainment for sure, for your pleasure. But just want to remind you all that the Streamlabs and the Super Chats are open. If you enjoy Wendy and I coming to you live every Friday, please make sure you send in Streamlabs and Super Chats. It is in the description of this video. It's right there above our heads in the middle there, the address. And I'm going to pin it in the chat in just a second. But just want to remind you all to please support the show as we go along. Send in questions, thoughts, or comments you want us to talk about. We will bring it up on the screen and talk about it with you all for sure. All right, and don't forget to later on in the show, we have our special guest, Yuri Lowenthal. Yuri Lowenthal is joining us today to talk about that Spider-Man No Way Home trailer and anything else Yuri Lowenthal wants to talk about. I always love having him on the show. He's such a great guy, and it's our pleasure and our honor to have him on the show later on to talk about all of that and more. And you may know, of course, you must know him as the voice of Spider-Man in the video game. He's the voice of so many characters. There's the voice of He-Man, I think, right now in one of the animated Netflix series going on as well. So Yuri's got, and his Orbital Redux, I think, is out now for people to watch as well. The live action show he did for a little while. So just so much going on in the world of Yuri Lowenthal, and we were very gracious and blessed to have him on the show.
Yes. So excited. I know. Yeah. I'm so excited because I when you and I were texting back and forth, but before today's show, I was like, how perfect would it be for literally the actor who voices Spider-Man in the video game to talk about the new Spider-Man No Way Home trailer? Like, he's such a big fan, just in general of Spider-Man, that I thought it'd be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And if Josh Keaton comes back to voice Captain America down the road, maybe we can find a way to get Josh Keaton on the show to talk about his experiences doing that for What If in Marvel. That could be a lot of fun as well. So stay tuned for Yuri Lowenthal later on in the show. All right, Wendy, let's get into it. What do we got to start off the show?
Well, a little bit of a bummer news, but luckily nothing too serious. But it was reported by Deadline that Letitia Wright was injured during filming on the set of Marvel's Black Panther 2, Black Panther Wakanda Forever. She suffered some minor injuries due to an accident with a stunt rig. And this was the quote from the spokesperson for Marvel, quote, Letitia Wright sustained minor injuries today while filming a stunt for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. She is currently receiving care in a local hospital and expected to be released soon. So sources are saying that this incident was very minor. It's not going to have an impact on the shooting schedule, which is great. So there's no delay. And the most important thing is that she is going to be okay. I think that, we don't know the extent of the injury. Obviously, there's no detail because that is private. But I'm happy to know that they are taking care of her. They're getting her treated, and she'll hopefully recover quickly, and she'll get back on set and finish filming. And what this makes me, obviously we love any sort of news about the upcoming Marvel films. Granted, we don't love it delivered this way via, an accident on set. Luckily, nobody was hurt, but it gives us a little bit of an insight of like a stunt rig, you say, huh? So that means Shuri's got some probably big scenes she's filming in this sequel, because generally she's not, even though she's Wakandan, she's not technically a fighter. She can fight. She's got those like kind of repulsor type of weapon that we've seen her use. I don't know the exact name for it, but I imagine, again, we don't know the details about Black Panther 2, how they are dealing with the absence, of course, of Chadwick Boseman, but I imagine Shuri and the rest of the Dora Milaje would have a much bigger part to play in this film.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think that's a great point that you touch on, Wendy, the idea that, why was she on a rigging mechanism to even be injured? And clearly it's because she's going to have a lot more to do action-wise in this sequel than maybe people have anticipated. And so it's great to see, because I know there was this campaign that was out there trying to get Letitia Wright to kind of step away from it because she had some alternative views on the vaccine at the time with COVID and everything like that, which I think when you take in the Black culture and understand the history of Black culture and vaccines and shots from the government, that's a little more understandable for why she might have questions about it. She did clarify her stance, and people seem to be kind of, okay, that's cool, and kind of moved on from it. So I'm glad that kind of is moved out of the way so we can focus on her being part of the movie. But it's sad to hear that she was injured, and it seems like it's minor. She's going to bounce back. It'll be fine. These things happen. I'm sure people get in those riggings. You just never know what's going to happen, or how you're being yanked around, or if the wind catches you or whatever. But but it seems like she's going to make a recovery, and that's a good thing, because we want to see her back there as Shuri as soon as possible and doing her thing. But Wendy, it's a little, what happened with Chadwick Boseman, now this injury here. You hope that there's no more incidences leading into Black Panther 2 or anything during the production, knock on wood, so that this can just go forward and be done, and we can get it out as soon as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. We want everybody to be safe, of course. And, accidents and things like that, it's obviously we hope for none of it, but you also know that it can occur because, you're playing with stunt rigs, and, comic book movies tend to have, big scenes with a lot of intricate stunt work, explosions and things like that. And it's not really just pertaining to just comic book movies. It's, action films. Like you take a look at James Bond, you take a look at Mission Impossible. You're like, oh my God. And we know Tom Cruise has suffered many injuries during filming of, throughout his career with Mission Impossible. Jackie Chan has broken, I think, almost every single body in his bone. He's one of the greatest, fighters like in history, like on film. So, Jet Li, Donnie Yen, everybody, because it comes with the territory. But we know obviously all productions wants to keep everybody safe, both on camera and behind camera. So we hope that she returns to set safely and have a very uneventful shoot for the rest of the duration. A good shoot, but no more accidents. Let's hope.
Absolutely. Sending our best for a quick recovery for Letitia Wright for sure. All right. Where are we on to next, Wendy?
Well, let's talk about some CinemaCon, because it still happened this year despite the pandemic. I had a friend who went. I saw that, based on a couple of the photos I saw, even though it was a lot of people, I did see spacing out and mask wearing indoors. And I would imagine everybody going is taking the repercussion. I don't know if there was a requirement to have a negative COVID test or a vaccine or whatever. I haven't heard of that. But CinemaCon, it's like a huge event, especially if you're a cinema lover. It's where studios, bring out these huge, it's kind of like Comic-Con, but for specifically movies, huge presentations. And that is when, obviously, and we'll talk about this movie trailer specifically later, but Spider-Man No Way Home, the Sony had a whole presentation. So it wasn't just No Way Home that was, debuting its teaser trailer or first trailer, but they also showed, I believe, Venom. They actually screened for the attendees Ghostbusters Afterlife. Everybody's under embargo, obviously. I think they were allowed to tweet out a really quick, very vague social reaction. For the most part, very positive. So that makes me very, very excited. They've also screened, I believe, Top Gun, Mission Impossible, that Nicolas Cage movie, I remember talking about this like long time ago
Mhm.
on Movie Talk, like years ago. What is it called? Like the tremendous something something talent. It's like a Nick Cage movie. It's like a meta Nick Cage movie.
Yeah. The bird,
Yeah.
was it the burden, the fabulous burden of being tremendously
Yes.
talented or something like that? Yeah.
Yes, that one. Yeah, and they showed just a lot of footages, you know, including Spencer, including Halloween Kills. And it's just for me, you know, not being able to, obviously last year and this year has been kind of poo-poo when it comes to doing things in a crowd, indoors with the crowd, like a movie theater setting or screenings and things like that. Things have been a little different, but I like to see that, you know, people hopefully, you know, were safe during CinemaCon and they got to see all the cool stuff. And because of that, we, you know, as fellow cinema lovers, gets to get very excited about all the upcoming releases. And I think it's before long that we're going to just get more and more and more trailers and news coming out, because now that CinemaCon and their presentations are done, now the rest of us, you know, can get to see some of what they saw during CinemaCon.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm getting excited from the stuff that I'd heard that they screened. Tom Cruise apparently was not there, but showed up via video with him and Haley Atwell from the set of Mission Impossible 8. And they showed this behind the scenes footage of Cruise's next big stunt where he rides the motorcycle off the cliff. Legitimately did it. This crazy MFer who I love so much, right off the cliff with his motorcycle. And then they followed up with 13 minutes of Top Gun Maverick, which I am so excited. Remember, that's coming out in November. We're not that far away from Top Gun Maverick.
No, we're not.
We're about to get into September, October, that's 3 months. And boom, we're there. So it's just kind of crazy to think about the fact that how close that film finally is coming out. I remember when Riley and I did the trailer reaction for the first Top Gun Maverick trailer at Collider. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
That thing was supposed to be coming out as well. So it was great to hear that. It's great to see the Matrix stuff come out. You know, say Matrix, was it Resurrections? That's am I a big fan of the title? No, but it's still nice to see that the footage was there. And apparently, was it Universal showed 75 minutes of footage, as you mentioned, of Halloween Kills. They also showed Jurassic World Dominion, Sing 2, The Black Phone, Jennifer Lopez's latest film, Marry Me. And Matthew McConaughey was there as well, talking about the Alamo Draft House, and Ethan Hawke was there as well. And all these people were there to talk about some of their stuff going on. And they also highlighted people from different theaters across the country to kind of re-inspire people that we are going back to the theaters, that theaters will survive. People will want to come back to the theaters. So, you know, in the middle of this Delta variant and everything that's going on, it's, you know, we've seen the numbers rise amongst the vaccinated as well as certainly the unvaccinated have had astronomical numbers, but the unvaccinated cases, the vaccinated cases of people getting Delta, that is starting to rise as well. So there's a little more fear creeping in. We'll see how Shang-Chi does this next weekend. So these videos are to kind of inspire people to kind of understand that things are happening, things that the movies are coming back, and there's a lot of support for the movie theaters to come back overall. So I'm excited by a lot of what they showed and getting the results, and certainly the reactions to Ghostbusters Afterlife, Wendy. Seeing so many positive reactions makes me even more excited to see this thing.
Yeah, and you know they're not just confident, but they're excited about the film. The fact that they're showing the entire thing, and they're trusting that the press and the journalists who went to keep everything under wraps. And like I appreciate people doing that too, to keep all of their reactions so far very vague, because that is definitely one of my most anticipated films, you know, of this year. Obviously it got delayed because of like everything else, because of COVID. So I would hate it before going into the movie, like somebody out there was like, here's what I love about the film, and then they like go and like list off you know, top 10 moments, big plot twist or whatever, best cameo, Easter egg, whatever it may be. I would hate that. So but it is nice to read all the positive reactions and go, okay, so what they've been showing the trailer lines up with what, you know, what the reception is of the film. And that makes me really, really happy, because who doesn't love Ghostbusters, really? Yeah,
exactly. And as far as Jurassic World Dominion, for those of you who are still in the Jurassic World camp, Chris Pratt's Owen Grady apparently is shown galloping after dinosaurs in a snowy mountain landscape, with Bryce Dallas Howard being chased by them on European rooftops. and Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, and Laura Dern returning in some fashion in that footage. They didn't want to ruin how they were returning in that footage, but great to hear that they are, we obviously know they're going to be part of it, but great to hear that they're going to be seen very, how can I say this? Very obviously, very prominently in the film. And that's exciting to see overall. Cause I think they didn't use Jeff Goldblum that well in the last movie. So hopefully they'll rectify that and do a better job. But yeah, this gets, plus the James Bond stuff. We didn't even mention that MGM put out the James Bond.
Right.
I think there was a whole 9-minute stunt sequence they put out, and everybody tweeted about saying, like, thank God they waited for the theaters because this is going to be incredible in the theaters to see. So we're just living in this interesting world, and we're going to get into the next story here with Patty Jenkins in just a second about the battle between day and date and the battle of theaters versus streaming. We're in this weird transition place, whether we're going one way or another, we don't know. But certainly the sounds are getting louder for people to come back to the theater and see these movies in the theater. And certainly these studios want to make it possible for people to see these movies in the theaters as well.
Yeah, I definitely have missed like the theater going experience. There's especially I felt, when AMC kind of was in trouble, and I think didn't they file for a big, I don't even remember.
Yeah, they filed for a couple
like financially, they were not doing well. And I was thinking here, man, if a corporation, a chain, as large as AMC is not doing well, how are these smaller, more mom and pop type movie theaters are doing? So there's actually a theater that's down the street from me, and that Dustin and I would often frequent, more so than we would AMC back in the days pre-pandemic, because they had renovated the theater, so we knew they spent a lot of money. They kind of upgraded the menu, so we wanted to support. And we walked by it not too long ago because obviously it was shuttered during the pandemic. And I thought, maybe they reopened back up. All the seats had been moved out, like those nice cushion reclining seats that they had spent so much money putting in.
They took them out.
I think it's closing. I don't know. I'll walk by it again.
That's a
in
shame.
Like a week or so. But yeah, it is a shame because it was a darling theater and they were trying their best to, get with the times and compete with these bigger branches that have like reclining seats and like, luxurious type of food in the theaters. They were catching up. They had like a nice curated menu that I enjoyed, and they were trying to, up their amenities and everything. But just couldn't do it during the pandemic because like nobody was going anywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and to give an idea of what went on at CinemaCon, although they were there to promote movies and people coming back to the theater, and there was also some more with the Batman. Apparently, there was also some stuff with the Batman shown and conversations had.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah,
we should go. We should go one year. It's expensive.
Is it? Oh, I didn't know. They don't put you up. They don't.
It's like not Comic-Con price. It's like more. Yeah, really? It's more. Yeah.
Vegas?
Yeah. Oh, it's because like, okay, so if you're a member, it's like 900.
Wow.
And if you're not a member, it's 1,000 plus, but I don't remember the exact numbers. And I don't know what it takes to be a member. Like, do you have to pay a fee per year? Dalton Johnson in the chat is saying 1,200. But look at all the things. I mean, I think it's worth it. Look at how much you're getting.
That's true. If
look at all the movies, especially if you're a journalist, like this is you have a lot of work cut out for you. Your fingers are going to fall off from typing. If you're writing for an outlet, or if you do, video content, then you're going to talk until your mouth falls off. But I think it's worth it. I would like to splurge and, go 1 year, but I wonder, I don't know. I'm going to have to ask around to the people who have gone, like, if you belong to an outlet or something like that, can you apply such as you do for TIFF and Comic-Con, or is it like, no, you just pay this money? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I know I've seen a number of people there from sites, from websites, from YouTube channels. So maybe there is an avenue to explore with that there, because you're right. TIFF does make it a little bit, especially this past year, they made it a little bit easier to go there and to be part of a mentorship program too, if you wanted to be. So that was great for them. But I wonder if CinemaCon rather is a different approach. And Dalton John said 1,200. He looked it up. You're right about that, Wendy. But that's probably just to get in. Now, what about travel expenses? What about the hotel? Like food? Food ain't cheap in Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. It is not.
What you do, you go to CinemaCon and then you go sit at a slot afterwards and see if you can make back the money for the room that night.
Daddy needs some new shoes. Come on.
I'm not even a gambler. Like I don't love it. I know people can sit at like tables all day. I wouldn't play poker. I've done roulette and I've done the slots because I pick a pretty one. I think it's fun.
Yeah, that's
for just a little bit, and then I get really bored. I get real bored. I was like, all right, I'm done. Let me go look at stuff, something else. Go eat at a buffet instead. I'd rather eat food than gamble.
Well, we got a Streamlab that came through here from Bleeding Green. Thank you, Bleeding Green.
Thank you.
It says, so it looks like maybe that 5 members, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Electro Lizard, and Sandman of the Sinister Six are in the trailer. Who do you think will be the 6th, or who would you want? Mysterio, Vulture, Venom, Kraven, someone else?
Those are good choices.
Yeah, good question. Should we put a pin in this until Yuri shows up?
Let's get Yuri's. Yeah, so let me make a note so we don't forget.
Okay.
I'm gonna private chat to myself on the back end of things.
We'll swing back around to that one, Bleeding Green, but we're definitely going to answer it. And for those of you who are out there, send in support here, Streamlabs Super Chat. See the Streamlabs address. It is pinned in the chat. It is there on the screen. It's also in the description of this video. So send in your support for the show in that manner so we can keep the show going here on Fridays on the Outlaw Nation channel. All right, let's move on to our next story here, Wendy. I think this is from, I put this one on the rundown from, this is also from CinemaCon. I think Patty Jenkins making some comments there, and she was talking about the day and date situation, talked about, of course, her experience with Wonder Woman 1984. She participated in this luncheon that happened on Thursday and revealed that she does not like the day and date release model. She said it was the best when talking about Wonder Woman 1984. She said it was the best choice and a bunch of bad choices at the moment. It was detrimental to the movie. She says, and you look at the fact that the movie that the box office, the movie grossing just $46.5 million domestically and $166.5 million worldwide. That being said, it wasn't reviewed that positively by the critics in the way that the first Wonder Woman was. So that could have factored into the overall box office, but certainly COVID and the day and date release did not help. She said, it was detrimental to the movie. I knew that could have happened. I don't think it plays the same on streaming ever. I'm not a fan of day and date, and I hope to avoid it forever. I like working with Netflix for television. I wouldn't make a movie there or any streaming service with those terms. She wasn't the only one making comments about this. Paramount distribution boss Chris Aronson, the domestic distribution boss, said, you can't compare the price of movie tickets to an NFL or NBA game. Pricing is an issue in our business. If we simply rely on large format pricing, attendance will continue to go down and down. We need to figure out how more people can go to the movies. And remember, Patty Jenkins is prepping Rogue Squadron for Star Wars to come out in Disney. So you look at the situation. What do you think about her comments? Do you think, I mean, because like how many of us have discovered movies watching them on TCM or watching them at home on TNT or TBS or whatever for the first time and love them, and then we get to see them in the theater. So you can enjoy a movie at home, an epic movie at home. I bet a majority of people, I don't know, under the age of 60 enjoyed Lawrence Arabia for the first time at home. So you can see or the Godfather at home. So what do you think about what she said?
On a VHS.
All right, there you go, on a VHS.
Yeah, both of those movies on a VHS for sure.
And those are epic films.
Yeah. I mean, I understand where she's coming from. You know, she is obviously a director. She's a filmmaker. She has all these creative ideas. And of course, you want your project to be shown in the way it is meant to be shown, which is in cinema with the Dolby, sound, with the best screen quality. And that's why you make those big scale movies. And I think it goes back to the pandemic came quick, fast, and it hit hard. And there wasn't that adjustment period.
Right.
It was just, we just got to do it this way because nobody was going to go. Yeah. But we want people to see this movie. And how much longer can you hold back this movie? And by holding this one movie back, what other domino effects is this going to cause the other movies we have? Especially in something like the MCU, for example. And I know this is Wonder Woman's DCEU, but it's all the same, right? If you don't tell this part of the story, how can you progress to the next thing? Yeah. And then that's a whole giant, Tetris you have to play with other release schedules for the rest of your slate, which is crazy. And I feel bad that Wonder Woman was essentially the first, major film. It kind of sucked, but like I mean I appreciate that it was available day and date, because I wasn't going to the theaters. I was just like, I am not sure about how I feel about going in, and staying in this like indoor circulating air place for over, an hour and a half with other people. I'm not sure. So, and I still have a little bit of anxiety when I go to theaters. Do I go and do things? Do I like go out and like live? Yes. Do I have anxiety at night after? All the time.
Right.
All the time. And I don't know if it's just me, if it's other people, but like, so I understand. But like, what can you do there? I feel like there isn't a right choice. It's just what we have to, it's just, but you have to make a choice.
Yeah, and look, A Quiet Place Part 2 made a bunch of money at the box office.
And that was a theatrical only release.
That was a theatrical only release, exactly. Suicide Squad did not make as much. Did that affect it? Black Widow did not make as much in the second weekend. Did that affect it? Although Black Widow's numbers apparently on HBO Max are doing, or on Disney Plus rather, doing really, really well. So, they released those numbers maybe as a way to kind of push back the lawsuit a little bit. They released those numbers, which they rarely do. But Jungle Cruise didn't do well. And that was day and date as well for the Prime service, or premium access rather, to that. So, it's just that kind of situation.
So I guess we'll see about Shang-Chi, which is they've switched strategies for that film. And perhaps all the films after that to maybe they will do a theatrical only with the, and we've heard about the new WB deal with AMC for next year, the 45-day window.
But that's before they go with Shang-Chi, 45 days, and then it's going to show up on Disney Plus. So
I'm very curious to see how it's going to play out.
I agree with you, Wendy. I'm curious as well. I think I wonder. Look, there's got to be some behind the scenes stuff. Did Patty not push for it to be released? Did the studio force her to release this thing? Did they say we're gonna do it? We're gonna drop it one way or another. So either get on board with the day and date or move on from it. She got paid. Her and Gal Gadot got paid up front for the release
back end, right?
Yeah, but they got paid up front for the back end, yes. And so you wonder if maybe, Patty's like, oh, it's the worst choices and bad choices. So clearly, one of the choices wasn't hold on to the film until you can release in the theater. Look, Candyman has been on the shelf for over a year. And is finally coming out today. Or last night, if you wanted to see it early last night. So it is. So there are movies that, maybe you could have waited with Wonder Woman 1984 and pushed it till you could release it in the theater. But she clearly chose not to, or the studio chose not to and paid her off to make sure.
We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. So there's got to be stuff to explore here. But I understand her complaint. I think there is validity to it when it comes to a superhero movie, because that's where you can make your money. Even with the bad reviews, people would have still gone at a certain number to make money for the movie and make her and Gal Gadot a little bit of money more, depending on what their deals were on the back end. So, yeah.
No, I agree with that. And while I didn't love 1984 as much as I loved the first one, I don't think it was a bad film.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I do feel at certain points that not seeing in a theater setting affect the way I enjoy the movie, because it was meant to, be seen on the big screen, like all these action pieces. And y'all know, like Wonder Woman, like that's my girl. I love her to death. Yeah. So I was very excited for the film. So I don't know. I don't know if like later on in the year, maybe they'll do one of those, like once the world finally has like an actual handle on this crazy variant and the pandemic and all that stuff. Like maybe they'll do like a fun, like 1 week only, Wonder Woman in theaters again, just for the heck of it. Cause I would love that. That's
a possibility. Yeah. Why not kind of honor the fact that they were able, they kind of maybe forced her to release it. So why don't we put it out there for people to enjoy for like 4 weeks or 6 weeks in the format that it was intended to be enjoyed in.
Yeah. And I'll say this, they delayed that movie, Wonder Woman, as well as Black Widow for as long as they could.
Yep.
They really did it because they really stood with Patty Jenkins on like, this was meant to be experienced in theater. Same with Black Widow, obviously. And they pushed as long as they could. But at the end of the day, studios, while they are, obviously like kind of the creative outlet to like for movies and directors and things like that to tell their story. It's also still a business.
Yeah.
So they gotta eventually they talk about, well, we got to get this out so we can get people to see it so they can spend the money on it plus the merch.
That's true. That's very, very true. Okay. What are we up to? Travis Earl sent us a Streamlab. He said,
Thank you.
Mission Impossible 7 or Maverick Top Gun? Yeah, which one are you most anticipating?
Say that one more time.
Mission Impossible 7 or Maverick Top Gun? Or Top Gun Maverick, actually, is the name of it.
Ooh, I'm going to go with Mission Impossible.
Okay.
That's my jam.
Okay.
I loved almost all of them.
You're my co-host. You've been quoted in the promotion for Shang-Chi, so I'm not going to...
Can you believe...
But I will say Top Gun Maverick is my most anticipated, aside from Bond. I just want to see if they pull it off. I just want to see. I know they're going to have a good Mission Impossible movie. I got no question about
This is true.
This is true. Know, can they pull off Top Gun Maverick all these years later? I need to know. And so,
Tom Cruise is involved. I think yes.
I hope so. God damn it.
I think so.
I mean, we saw.
You just want to hear the theme song again.
I do. One more time. Weave it in there somewhere.
They have to. They have to. Like, there's no way they're not going to put in some of the scenes or one lines or similar moments to the original. I'm not saying it's going to be like a rehash of that. I think they moved on. They know what it's going to be. Right. But we want to hear like Need for Speed, and we want to hear the theme song. We want to. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Opening. You got to hear it. All right. Anyway,
there's a funny story with Top Gun. Dustin's parents showed him the movie when he was younger, and you know how there's the part where Tom Cruise, I think he's upside down, on top of the other, and then there was the middle finger,
maintaining relations.
Yeah, and he like flipped off the other, or he flipped off somebody.
He did the MiG, the Russian MiG.
Yeah, and so he saw the movie, went to school, and we're like flipping off. Got called to the principal's office. Where'd you learn how to do that? Well, and then told, that like his parents let him watch Top Gun. So his parents got called to the principal's office. We're like, so Dustin was found doing this. And we don't think he knows exactly what it meant, but because he said he saw it in a movie. So we just want to let you guys know that maybe he's not quite the appropriate age yet to be watching a movie like Top Gun. They're like, okay, we're so sorry.
I'm just saying hello to everybody. I thought that's how you say hello.
That's it. Yeah, he didn't know he was young.
So, anyway, all right.
People are like, what?
By the way, thank you to Norvell Ross, who donated through the Super Chat. Appreciate that for that sticker. Thank you, Norvell. If you want to send in some Streamlabs Super Chats, once again, the address is right there in the description of the chat, pinned in the chat. It's also in the video, and it's right there, the address above our heads there in the middle. So where do we move on to next here, Wendy? Where are we off to?
Let's talk some new trailers. Not yet. We're not talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, but let's talk about the other two that dropped just a couple of days ago. One for The King's Man, Secret Service, and one for Spencer. So for The King's Man, that was actually for the many trailers and TV spots they've already had. Yeah. I believe it's the first Red Band trailer for the film. And I've been waiting for this because if you remember from the very first The King's Men, that church scene was absolutely insane. Yeah. So you already kind of know what's coming, and especially if you've also saw the follow-up film, the sequel, then it kind of continues. And I feel like they definitely went full Matthew Vaughn went full Matthew Vaughn, for this one. And we just got to see little bits and pieces. It wasn't as Red Band as I thought it was going to be, but I still like that we got to, see some of the actual footage from the film. And I love that Rasputin was in literally confirmed to be in the movie because they hadn't said his name, I don't think, in any of the spots.
It was pretty obvious.
I mean,
they hadn't said his name.
Yeah. You don't even really need to. It's not like he needs like a little name tag. It's like, I am. Hello, Rasputin.
And I like that it's Rhys Ifans, who is a Lizard in the. Was he Lizard? He was Lizard in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I think he was Lizard in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Of course, he's great in Notting Hill as Hugh Grant's best friend in Notting Hill. And so seeing him play Rasputin, I thought it was Peter Stormare the first time I saw a trailer, and then had to look it up and found it was Rhys Ifans. So that's great to see him taking on a role like this. He could be a great fun villain. It looks like he's having a blast. But yeah, I mean, I've seen 35 trailers for this movie, Wendy. I wasn't sure whether to watch this one or not, but when they said Red Band, I was like, all right, I'll watch it.
Gotta watch it.
They lived up to the billing. A lot of cussing, a lot of there's some heads being cut off. There's blood. There's gore. So there might be a little more brutality to this movie than we've been led to believe from previous trailers. So that's going to be fun to see. And I hope this is a good one. They're going back in time. They're showing the birth of the Kingsman Agency. So I want to see some great stuff. And look, Ray, you talk about Liam Neeson. Ray Fiennes is no spring chicken either, ladies and gentlemen. And he's out there looking like a badass mofo, having his fights and doing his thing. Great to see the ageless Djimon Hounsou, I think is 700 years old. He looks fantastic. And, he looks as good as he did in Gladiator, for the love of God. That's 2000. And look at
They just don't age.
He doesn't age.
I don't know what they do with their skincare or what they're eating. They just don't age. Yeah. They're still super, able to do all the physical stunt and all this. Yeah. What's the secret? I want in.
Djimon Hounsou, start a YouTube channel. Tell us what your skin secrets are.
Yes. Yes. What do you put? What's your routine at night? Do you have a 10-step? 10-step routine.
My girlfriend does. She says, I'm going to bed at 10. That means you're going to bed at 11. Because the skin routine, the shower, the skin routine, it's a whole thing.
It's a process. You have to layer from lightest to heaviest.
I mean, I just change clothes and crawl into bed. Which she hates. But I like that the trailer showed us a little more with Rasputin, a little more of the time that this is all happening, a little more of Gemma Arterton being involved in this. I love her as an actress, so I'm glad to see her getting a little more screen time in these trailers to show what she can do. So all of it looks fantastic. None of it changed my mind about going to see it because I was already going to see it.
Yeah.
It just excited me even more that we're going to get a little more of a brutal story, and that's going to be fun to see. What about you?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I was slightly disappointed with the second Kingsman. I feel like the story kind of got away just a little bit from them, and I think also some of the marketing ruined big moments from the film that should have been, Yep. So just in case anyone hasn't seen the second one yet, it's years ago, but just in case I won't say what. But I am curious about this one, very excited because it is a prequel, essentially the origin. Yeah. So I want to see where they get their weapons and how all that starts. Like, who supplies them with all these cool weapons? Because there's the Secret Service, and it's all about the gadgets and the secret doors and entrances and the what is it, like the double cross of the double cross?
Yes.
Good stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Another trailer dropped as well, and this one is Spencer, starring Kristen Stewart as the one and only Princess Diana. So in this teaser trailer, we don't get to see much of her. There's not a lot of dialogue spoken in this one, and you only hear Kristen Stewart speak as Princess Diana in the final moment of this teaser trailer. But wow, did she nail that accent or what?
Yeah, they don't. Listen, how can I say this correctly? I'm a massive Princess Diana fan. This has been a problem for the Lady Outlaw and I because she's a massive Princess Kate fan. And so we argue all the time over who was prettier, who was more regal, who was more, because they both came from, kind of not royalty, but they came from some families were connected.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they weren't poor.
Didn't they used to call Kate like commoner or something like that? Terrible.
But you look at this, and I saw The Crown, and I thought Emma Louise Corrin really nailed her, and she got nominated for an Emmy for that performance as well. So when I look at this, I think the pictures did a great job of showing Diana, but I also wonder, do we really want to see a story about her being destroyed by the royal family for 2 hours? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Okay.
And even the poster is her turned around with her head buried in her dress, crying. And I want to see something more. And I want to see something more stronger, more powerful, especially in 2021, especially post Me Too or after Me Too became something that we had to pay attention to or needed to pay attention to. We should have for many decades. But I wanted to see something a little more stronger from it. But this is a different approach. Do I think Kristen Stewart 100% in the actual trailer nails Diana? I don't think so. But But I also think Natalie Portman didn't nail Jackie Onassis in Jackie, and it's the same director, Pablo Larraín, and he got her a nomination for that role. So what do I know? Maybe just evoking the spirit of Diana is what we're going here for with Kristen Stewart. But Kristen Stewart's a different body type, a different kind of energy. Right?
She's more petite than she's no Elizabeth Debicki. Let's say that. Yeah, when it comes to the height. Who is also now going to be playing Diana in The Crown? Yeah. Finally, I've been waiting to see her like as Diana, because I was like, yes.
Yeah, they showed a picture, and that comes out next year. But that's the situation. So I do appreciate this. I like Pablo Larraín's approach to these films. So I'm going to watch it, absolutely. But am I impressed from the trailer? Yes and no, in that it looks fantastic. But I'm worried about the period of time that they are profiling in Diana's life. And I know Kristen Stewart will do a great job. She's been doing a fantastic job in a lot of these independent films for the last few years. So I look forward to seeing what she does with Diana. I just am not 100% sold live action that she does capture Diana, but we'll see.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I actually, at first, and I'll preface this by saying that I am a huge fan of Kristen Stewart and her work. Yes. I think she can be very transformational as an actor. And I think it's about time that people freaking move on from Twilight, from her and and Pattinson about Twilight. Like, that was years ago. Like, they booked the job. They made lots of money. They made a name for themselves, and look at them grow. People grow and evolve. And I'm so happy for her to be portraying Diana. Yes, you're right. The physicality, as far as body type, they definitely don't match. Princess Diana was, of a taller, she was taller. But other than that, I like to think that Kristen Stewart is going to embody, like you said, her spirit, and even her face shape. If you think about just Kristen Stewart, not in hair and makeup, she doesn't technically look a thing like Diana. Right. I would say Emma Corrin and Elizabeth Debicki looks more similar, have more similar face shape, but there was something about the way they shot her and the way she portrayed that she kind of exudes that spirit and that energy of Diana. And I felt that through the trailer, from how she's looking at herself in the mirror. And Kristen's good at little subtle things. You know how Elizabeth Moss is also great at acting with their eyes. Both of them. It's not easy to do. Very few actresses can do it, make it look very subtle and natural. So I think that's why I've been looking forward to it, because I like the way that Kristen Stewart, I like her acting when she acts without dialogue. Right. When there's no lines. And I think I got a lot of that in this teaser trailer. And again, there's so little to be shown in this. And it's really more of like a, just beauty shot. But again, people also, I think when you think Princess Diana, you immediately go to like the portrayal. How much can the actress look like her and embody her? Right. And I think that was maybe the goal for this first teaser, and they capture that. And a little bit of eerie, the tragedy of it, seeing her not quite able to pull herself together because all the pressure around her leading up to that time. So kind of, like I, don't love seeing, her story and seeing her in pain. But again, it's also, I think, what a lot of people talk about, as well as the good that she's done. And I hope that they balance the two in the movie.
That's a great point, Wendy. Absolutely. I hope they balance the two for sure. And I think they will. I mean, Pablo Larraín has done an incredible job as a director, bringing these energies out of these actresses to portray these incredible women, historical women before. And you look at something like Nixon, Oliver Stone's Nixon. Anthony Hopkins looks nothing like Nixon, for the love of God, but he was able to embody Nixon in that movie the same way Frank Langella, who also looks nothing like Nixon, was able to embody Nixon in the Frost Nixon movie for Ron Howard. So it can happen as long as the energy is there to embody that character. And from what I saw in the trailer, I certainly believe Kristen Stewart will be able to do that. I just wonder how close she'll come to actually conveying Diana. We shall see. And I look forward to it for sure. And I applied to be at the press day, and I'm hoping they let me interview them.
For Spencer?
We shall see. Yeah, for Spencer, absolutely. Because I'm a huge Diana fan. And they got back to me and they said, we noted your fandom and we noted your interest. We will let you know. So we'll see.
Great. Fingers crossed for you.
Fingers crossed. Let's move on to our next section here. Where we got Yuri coming in just a few minutes. For those of you who've been waiting for Yuri Lowenthal, he is coming in a few minutes. But let's jump into what's trending.
What's trending and heading up with K-pop Corner. 3 big headlines. Obviously, you guys know Stray Kids, world domination all around the world. They've just had their comeback. They released I think it's like their second full album technically, called Noisy, or if you say it fast, Noisy. And they've also played with the artwork. So if they put No Easy together and then they kind of faded the E and A of easy, it actually spells like it looks like it's saying noisy. So we love that. And of course, their first single of this album called Thunderous, they have the music video out for it, and it's a big. I expected nothing less, but this. I can't decide if I like this better than God's Menu or not, because both of them are great, but both of them musically have 2 very different tones. I want to say like God's Menu, it's a little bit harder.
Okay.
You know, the beats hit a little bit harder than Thunderous, but Thunderous is a lot of fun because I think they've got the members doing different parts. Like Lino getting to rap a little bit in this one, where mostly he sings, and you know, seeing Felix getting a little bit more like line distribution is always nice, and of course like the visuals, it's crazy cool, and I loved it. And they've released the music video, they've done performances, they've done fan cams. I've watched. I think there's only one that I haven't watched because it dropped 9 hours ago. So I haven't watched that one, but it's been playing on repeat all day. I think I'm gonna have to order the album. Yeah, it's fantastic.
I will say this. I loved it. I thought it was a great jam. I was immediately like, well, I better put this on my weightlifting mix. I got no choice. It's
a lot of their music, because they're noisy like that. Like it pumps you up. It doesn't even matter, because even if you can't understand Korean, you can understand like the energy they're putting forward with this. And essentially the song, there's a really great YouTube channel called Andy and Jazz, and they're a Korean couple, and a Korean American couple, I think. And they break down the music video and the lyrics, because they're fluent in both language. So they're able to kind of break it down a little bit. So I've been kind of watching them when they say sorikun, like what that means, and like the double meaning, like kun means like noisy landing, because they've landed, like, hey, we're here.
Right.
So coon, like I don't know. It's just really cool. So I haven't even finished watching their breakdown video. So I'm gonna have to watch so I can understand the lyrics a little bit better. But I'm happy for the Stray Kids. I'm happy for BTS because they just re-released a Butter remix. The song smooth like butter. Da, da, da. Anyway, but with Megan Thee Stallion. So that's a remix that just came out like early in the morning, and it's going to be number 1 again, I'm sure, because ARMY is out there streaming, which is great. And of course we have Blackpink's Lisa. She is the next member of Blackpink to set to get her solo debut as well. It doesn't mean they're leaving the group. When they debut solos, it doesn't mean they're leaving. It just means that they YG promised that each member would get a solo. So Jennie was the first, and Rosé had her solo, had 2 songs, and Lisa is coming out with one of them. I literally don't know too much about this because they just dropped the trailer, but ironically it's also got some thunder in it. I don't think I think it's purely coincidental, because this was planned and shot a long time ago before like the Stray Kids stuff. So I know I worry about the fandoms, because I don't know why the K-pop fandom, sometimes some very hardcore fans are just like, if another group has something similar, that means it's stolen. It's like, well, how about it's just coincidence? Like, not everything is stolen. And also, like, why can't we share? And why do I only have to like one group only? Well, like, that's really weird to me. Yeah. Like, people are like, oh, if you're Blackpink, you can't like BTS. I was like, why? It's music. I can like whatever I want. I can be both of those people's fans. More for me.
It's instinctual, isn't it? In any format, this idea of tribalism, this you can't like that team if you like this team. You can't like that movie if you like this movie. You can't like that actor if you like this actor. You can't like that group if you like this group. It becomes so ridiculous. It's like, no, whatever works for me works for me. And if you want to be very linear or very shut off in your thinking. Good
Right.
luck with that for the rest of your life. I don't want to be that way. I want to enjoy everything, you know, and whatever is going to appeal to me is going to appeal to me. And that's okay, you know? And so, yeah, I think it's only the hardcore fanatics who are that way about that kind of stuff. Pretty much everyone can enjoy whatever they want to enjoy, for God's sakes. It's what it's there for. Yeah. And you would think expanding is a good thing, because then people are more open to looking at all the Korean pop groups and being a part of them and enjoying them and promoting the music even more. So why wouldn't you want to be a fan of as many of them as you can if you like them? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we're happy for Lisa. I've been waiting for her solo for a long time. I have no idea what it's going to be. If it's going to be dance heavy, because she is obviously known as the main dancer for Blackpink, as well as one of the main rappers. So I don't know, but her visuals obviously she's flawless. She doesn't look real.
Yeah.
Like the very first time I saw her, and this was like within the first year that they debuted, I'm like, who is she? Right. She looks like a supermodel. She looks great in doing anything. I've seen her without makeup. Like there's this show that they went on. It's a variety show, and it's called like Something Men, and where they take various celebrities and like K-pop artists and actors or whoever it may be, and they put them in this like military type of like setting, and they do like and like, but like she crushed it. She crushed it. And the men were even making comments. They're like, how is she doing all those push-ups? Her arms are like so skinny. And I was like, you don't know what they put them through as K-pop idols. You don't debut because you can't hang, you know? So look forward to her new album. I believe it's called La Lisa, which is her full name.
Nice.
La Lisa Manoban.
There you go. And Thunder said, go watch that music video. It's some incredible visuals in that video, this music video as well. All right, let's get into another one here. Wendy, you've got some Cobra Kai news before we welcome Yuri to the show. What are we going to talk about here?
Well, you know, we were talking about Cobra Kai being on the DVD cover of Karate Kid,
yes,
which is completely unrelated. But Cobra Kai has been renewed for a 5th season, and this is coming out before the news has come up before they even premiere for season 4. Right. Which means that, like, who can you believe this? Because remember when they were initially, it was a YouTube show.
Yes.
A long time ago, and we're like, oh my gosh, it was a YouTube Red show, and then they decided to not do it, and then Netflix is like, well, come over here, we'll do it. So it's had major success, and I think it definitely, I've been trying to catch up since season 4 is coming out, and it's luckily a pretty easy binge, I would say, because it's not, you know, the full hours. It's like 28 minutes or something like that, so you can easily put away like 2-3 a night if you have the time to spend.
Right.
Obviously, no surprise that they're getting a 5th season greenlit even before season 4 has premiered. This show has earned 4 Emmy nominations for Outstanding Comedy Series, Outstanding Sound Editing for a Comedy, Outstanding Stunt Performance, and Outstanding Sound Mixing for a Comedy. So everybody knows that this is, you know, a spin-off of The Karate Kid, which I would say in the beginning of this series, it was really focused around Johnny and Danny. Mm-hmm. And then I feel like they kind of, as more and more of the seasons came on, like they started to focus on the older sensei.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
With Martin Cove, with Johnny. All that stuff.
They're still scary.
For sure. Mm-hmm. For sure. And,
sweep the leg.
What's that? Do you have a problem with that, sir? No, sensei. No, sensei.
Quit.
So I want to show you what I'm talking about, because I'm a little
Did you pull it up?
Yeah, I was looking for it and I found it. This is what I'm talking. What is going on here? That is the Karate Kid is literally not even on the cover. Wait, no, he's in the cover right here in the corner getting his butt kicked. What the crap are you doing, Target, with this steelbook? I'm super upset about
I really do.
Look at this. And the villain of the piece, Martin Cove, is right bigger than him. He looks like Darth Vader, looming over everybody. This is ridiculous, Wendy. I'm dying.
I didn't realize it was that.
Look at this. This is madness, Wendy. What is going on here?
To watch our movie, The Karate Kid. Where's the Karate Kid? All these guys? No, that little thumbnail right there.
The little guy at the end. The little guy right back here. Right.
I mean, look, I think the art looks really cool. I like the style, but Danny, can you imagine Danny more in the forefront and these guys looming over him? Maybe a little bit more in the background.
There's body bag guy. There's Johnny. That's Chad McQueen. That's Steve McQueen's actual son, who has yet to appear in the series. There's this
maybe
dude.
season 5.
And there's Johnny again, and then there's Martin Cove. It's ridiculous. And then hold it. Here's Danny LaRusso, real small right here, getting a kick into the chest. Rather. Not even look like Daniel LaRusso, but it is Daniel.
You can't tell.
You can't tell.
It's straight up a Cobra Kai cover. I want to go to Target and find this and take a picture of it.
I was so mad. I was like, you guys do not understand what you're promoting here. I'm glad that Cobra Kai is a good show, goddammit, but Daniel,
that should have been a poster that just included inside the steelbook, and not as the cover. What about Mr. Miyagi?
I think the backside is them kicking the shit out of Mr. Miyagi, which doesn't even happen in the film. I was not happy with
so
that.
Cobra Kai paid for that cover.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying. Sensei was like, you will pay for this.
I think someone in Target executive office is like, no, I got the idea to resell this thing. Let's package it up as a steelbook and just put all the Cobra Kai guys on the front. What about LaRusso? We'll put it
we don't need him.
Yeah, we don't need him. Right there in the bottom corner, we'll have him getting it kicked. People hate Daniel LaRusso now.
MK Sonberg writes, fear does not exist in the steelbook.
That's right. Oh, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm offended by it on 1,000 levels. So just letting you know. All right.
So JMB says, someone get it and send her to Rocha. I can see him opening the package and rolling his. You'd be so full of rage.
I would be. I might throw. I would have my girlfriend videotape me throwing it at the wall, or sweeping.
You do the kick. Kick it.
I like this. They swept the cover. That's what they did. They swept the cover instead of sweeping the leg. They sweep the cover. That's right. They sweep the cover. You got a problem with that, LaRusso?
No, Sensei.
Such a shame.
It is what it is. We got to get Yuri's opinion on that.
Yeah, I'm sure Yuri's going to have an opinion on this. I'm going to keep it up for now and show him and see what he thinks about it overall. But he should be coming in very soon to join us. He's going to be talking to us about the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. And maybe we should get in. Maybe we should start at least the discussion now, Wendy. When
sure.
He can join us. So earlier this week, the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer dropped, I think, on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. PT. I was in the middle of hanging out with my patrons for my weekly hangout. I do 2 weekly hangouts. And I was hanging out with them, and all of a sudden it came across like, was it Tuesday? No, it was Monday. I think it was Monday. Mm-hmm. Came across, and they were like, dude, you got to get off this hangout. You got to jump on there and do a reaction to this trailer. And I jumped on and was like, I'm going to do a live reaction. And I did it for an hour. And YouTube tried to strike me down half an hour in because I kept going back and rewatching the trailer and pausing it. And I took the trailer off, and they were fine with it, and they released the strike on it. So it was good. But, if we're going to talk about Spider-Man, if we're going to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, you got to bring somebody on who has voiced the character now in numerous projects, possibly will be voicing him again down the road. But also, I know everyone's talking about the He-Man and all that with Kevin Smith, but he's also the voice of He-Man / Adam in this new animated one that is dropped as well on Netflix, not to be confused with the Kevin Smith one, completely different. He's also one of my dearest friends and a man I've co-hosted a couple of shows with, and has been the joy of my life to be, it's been a blessing of my life, rather, to be a friend of this gentleman here. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, one of the greatest voices in the world of animation and in the world period, to be honest with you, Yuri Lowenthal. What's up, guys?
Yuri.
John, when are we getting married? Because I can't. After that introduction, how do you and I not get married at this point?
It's legal now, so let's do it.
Exactly.
We're witnessing this right now in real time.
Right. Hi, Wendy. Not to discount Wendy, who I also haven't seen in forever.
Not at all. I know. So much. It's been like 2 years since No, that's a lie. I think I saw you at
more.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's been more.
Well,
what the heck?
Extends
I hate it.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
It's the worst. But how are you, friend?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad to be hanging out here with you guys. I don't get to hang out with people anymore. This is awesome.
I know. What is this?
You've got your setup. What do you got behind you?
I was just about to say that. I was like, we're peeping. We're peeping. Yeah.
That's my booth. That's where the magic happens. And then right back there, that's my giant sideshow collectible Spider-Man that I spent all the money on to
which
get.
was like the last time I saw Yuri in person was at Sideshow.
Oh my God, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
right.
Was
it to promote that?
No, it was he came in to talk about the Spider-Punk
Hot Toys.
6 scale figure.
Nice.
Which enter another part of my office. I have a little shrine back here with all my Spider-Mans. But
I love that.
Yeah, I wish I could get that camera closer and show you. We'll do a tour some other time.
Is this in your back office? The one I've been to in the past?
Yeah, this is.
Oh wow!
This is where we used to record the show, man.
I remember. We used to hook it up and have fun back in this thing.
Yeah,
you had a Buckaroo Banzai poster back there. It's
still there.
I remember. Yeah.
My goodness. Hey, so I've got a question, and I know we want to hear Yuri talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, obviously, but I kind of wanted to get like a little backstory of, because I know Rocha's backstory about getting into voiceover and acting, but I don't know yours, and would love to hear like a quick story time.
Story time would be that I came out here to do TV and film, and with my wife and I came out at the same time, and we were looking for other ways. As we were out there trying to become movie stars, we were looking for other ways to make money as actors, and that didn't involve waiting tables and working in an office, which we both also did.
Yeah.
So Tara said, "What about voice acting? And what about voiceover?" And I was like, "Oh man, I hadn't even thought of that," which is embarrassing because in our family, I'm the one who grew up watching anime and playing video games and watching cartoons, and like I should have thought of that somehow, but it never seemed like a job that a mortal human being could get. Like it didn't seem like a job that was available. And so we took a class. Like we didn't know anything about it. We took a class. We put a demo together. We started auditioning and sending the demo out to agents. And then we the teacher of that class got hired to direct the dub of an anime, and he started auditioning his students, and I got a role on that, and that was sort of like my entree into that world, and started working on that. And then somebody were like, "Hey, you know what? You might be good at another show. Let me introduce the other person." I was at an audition to that person, and it just started slow, and his overtime picked up speed, and here we are.
I mean,
and now you're Spider-Man.
And now I'm Spider-Man. I mean, how what are who gets to say that?
I think one of the greatest joys I had earlier.
Although anyone can wear the mask, so
now, very well said. Very
That's
well
true.
said.
Thank you.
One of the greatest joys I had earlier this year was I got my PS5 in November, was finally getting the Spider-Man game and playing along with Yuri's voice in my ears. I'd had Yuri's voice in my ears in the past, but never quite
so
this
many
way.
times.
That's
true.
Such an awesome.
That's true.
Is it a little weird for you? You look around your living room, like, where is he? Is he here?
It was more about I don't want to let Spider-Man. I don't want to let Yuri down.
Don't let him die.
The game.
Don't let him die. Right? That's why there was extra pressure for you. You had to play well.
It's okay.
Which is more than the pressure that I feel when I play it. Because I still, to my shame, I still have not finished the first game.
Oh my God.
I know.
But you know how it ends. It's okay.
So embarrassing. That's true. That's true.
But it was just announced that you're going to be part of this Marvel Future Revolution. Can we talk about that? You're coming back to voice Peter Parker Spider-Man again. You've played him in the PS4, PS5 video games, as well as Marvel Ultimate 3. So what, and you might be doing the Marvel's Avengers Spider-Man DLC. There's a lot of rumors you might be doing that. You don't have to go into that if you don't want to.
They're only rumors.
Yeah, there you go. But
there it is.
How exciting is it for you to take it on yet again? Do you as an actor, and I think both can relate to this, and Wendy as well, you always want that, one more take. Just give me one more take. Do you feel that way now about the character? Every time you're doing it, do you come away from it going, I could have done this, but I couldn't have done that. I'll remember that for next time. And then getting that next time, do you find that you are still discovering what you can do with Peter Parker and Spider-Man?
Yeah, and that has been the joy of this. And yeah, I will always say that, in my head, I'm like, I could have, maybe they should. And in the olden days, I would ask the director for, extra. and then after a while, I learned that, they've got things to do and other people to record, and they can't just have me going, wait, can I just have one more? I think I can, especially since usually in those first few, you get the one that they're going to choose.
Right.
So now I will still do it occasionally, but I save it up. Like only if I think of something, then I'm like, oh, let me. And to their credit, usually people will be like, fine, and then they probably end up just using one of the first ones I did anyway. So yeah. But yeah, no, it's it's been fun to explore it, and you explore it sort of in different worlds, like in that the Spidey that's in Future Evolutions, which I don't think that I think I can confirm my involvement in it, but I don't know if I can talk about really anything about the game. That's so I'm gonna sort of just keep it right here.
No worries.
But it is it's like a different Spider-Man world than the PS4 Spider-Man.
Right.
So he is a slightly different Spider-Man, which is also interesting to explore. So but now that we've got so many Spider-Verses, and that leads and multiverses, which leads right into our conversation.
Yes.
So then I guess we can do that now. I guess we can have as many Spider-Mans as we want.
That's right. Yes. A lot of men's.
The plural is Spider-Mans. Yes.
Spider-Mans.
And we'll circle back to the Prince Adam and the He-Man thing, because I do want to ask you about that. But let's get into that trailer. Spider-Man No Way Home dropped on Monday night, I think, much to everyone's surprise. And there had been that leak, but then
you were surprised that it dropped.
I thought they'd hold off.
The internet only was about to
flip the table. The Matrix trailer dropped, and they still have not released that from CinemaCon. And so I thought, well, because the leak, they're going to wait and hold it till Shang-Chi, but no, they dropped it on Monday night to a lot of people's surprise, and people went crazy for it. What do you think? What did you think about the trailer? What stood out for you as a Spider-Man fan, first and foremost? And what do you think we're going to get in terms of Sinister Six and how did that trailer affect you overall?
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it kind of broke my brain because there's so much stuff in it, and like I was saying before, with Into the Spider-Verse and into the exploration of the multiverse all across Marvel properties.
Yeah,
they can do anything they want, and there's no fear of having to retcon it later or to break something because they've established that that's just the one from that surprise it was a multiverse, or surprise it was and it's over. So they can, I mean, my mind is just a whirl with what they could do with it, and the different elements that we saw in play. Yeah, I had to watch it, a few times and try to break it down. I'm not one of those guys who's really good at catching all the little things. That's why I have to go to like Screen Crush or whatever. I'm like, okay, Eric, you do it for me, and then I'll watch that. But I mean, the stuff that I saw. I mean, Alfred Molina back as Dr. Octopus. I mean, nobody's going to say who's going to say no to that. Like zero people, zero fans. I think fans fight about a lot of stuff. But I don't think anybody's going to say we don't want any more Alfred Molina.
So no one ever.
No one ever. Right? Not even fans who hate everything Spider-Man, who are true Spider-Man fans. But yeah, I mean, seeing him again, seeing where they're going to take it, just after sort of where they left it, in that in the last movie. The one thing that probably like disturbed me the most and weirded me and really had me, wondering was their sort of the portrayal of Doctor Strange like Doctor Strange is very different. Right. And like, there were a lot of things that, when I talk to people about the trailer, I'm like, yeah, but Doctor Strange wouldn't have, I mean, he's the Sorcerer Supreme. He would not let a kid mess up a spell that he's doing. Right. But he did. He would he let it alone. I mean, he said he wasn't going to do that. He's wearing a sweatshirt and a parka when you come in. Like all of those things. And then somebody, I was talking to somebody the other day and I was kind of raging about it. I was like, I don't get it. It's the only one thing that didn't make any sense and blah, 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 blah. Right. And then I was talking to somebody the other day who's a big, Marvel head, and he's like, but do you think it really was Doctor Strange? And I went, oh shit.
Yeah.
So like, but like I said, like anything, and like, who do you think after the pumpkin bomb rolls in and you hear the line, who do you think that is?
That has to be Willem Dafoe. I don't know why there's even a question that it's Willem Dafoe.
Maybe, but I listened to the voice and I'm a big fan of Willem Dafoe, and it might be him. But it really sounded like James Franco to me.
I don't know. With all
I don't
all the
know.
stuff he's enduring off camera,
It's possible, though.
I know if
I
they'd
get
risk
that, and
but
I'm not
I
and
hear
I'm
what
not
you're
a
saying.
fan of his behavior, and I don't think it should be rewarded.
Right.
But it said the voice sounded more like James
Possible.
Franco than Willem Dafoe to me. Now,
Yeah.
they're going to revoke my Willem Dafoe Appreciation Club, card for getting it wrong if I'm wrong. But
What if
also-
they went to Defoe and they're like, "Can you do a Franco
oh,
Yeah,
with
maybe.
this line?"
and he could. He
Yeah,
could.
he's like, "I'm an actor. Give me
Yeah.
the mic."
I loved seeing, and if I think I didn't catch this the first time, but then again, that's what Screen Crush is for. That the homeless shelter where on May, where is a feast shelter, which is from the game.
Right.
Oh,
I love
universe
how the
colliding.
cinematic. I know. I love how even in Spider-Verse there was a nod to the game.
Yes.
In this that seemed to be. I may be wrong. I'm usually wrong about most things, but it seemed like a nod to the game. But I can also put any rumors to rest that I know a lot of people are like, you should be in this one. And I'm like, dude, I'd love to be in this one, but rarely do movie people go to the game people and say, hey, we wanted to. I mean, like you should have seen. This is a whole other show where I talked about how I tried to get a cameo in the Prince of Persia movie, and I got way up the chain. And even when I finally talking to the casting director of the movie, she's like, "Oh, we never really thought of that." I'm like, "I know, that's why I'm calling." Yeah. So, or I could be lying, but yeah.
I know people have clamored for you to be in the Spider-Verse sequel. Has there been any advancement on that you could even remotely hint at?
No. I mean, then of course, if there were, I'd also lie about it. But I can tell you right here, nobody's reached out.
All right.
But
we're gonna champion for you, Yuri. We're gonna champion for you.
Thank you. I'd obviously, I love playing Spider-Man more than anything, and I would play him. And all anybody has to do really is call me and say, "You want to play?" I'm the guest. Yes, but yes.
I haven't even told you what role.
It's a fan film that I'm sure I'll do it.
And I wear the tights. I'm in. I'm
gonna do this. In.
Right. Yeah.
A lot of people speculating that Doctor Strange is Mephisto, Wendy. A lot of people speculating it could be Agnes. Other people.
Oh my God! Again.
Yeah,
I've heard Kang.
Yeah, I've heard Kang the Conqueror as well, because that
really
everybody's focusing on the wink and the parka, because they're like, why does Doctor Strange need to wear a parka?
Yeah.
I'm sure he can warm himself just fine.
Right.
Some people
a lot of
Loki Frost Giant's parka.
Oh.
Yeah,
but see, but how many? But here it goes back to this: how many people are powerful enough to cast that spell?
Right.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And people like a scroll, but from what I understand from the comics, scrolls can't do magic. They're
shapeshifters. They're not.
Right. They're not imitators.
Yeah, they can make themselves look like. And could you basically, could you do it well enough to fool Doctor Strange's closest companion and best friend?
Yes.
Wong. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Great point. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. It's and I'm sure they did all this on purpose. They wanted us to be going, ah!
It's Mephisto all over again.
Right.
I got Mephistoed. But also remember, always, and they should do a T-shirt of this. Always listen to Wong. Wong told him not to do the spell, and he did the spell anyway. You always listen to Wong, man.
Print those shirts now.
Yep. Somebody make it. Somebody's on Etsy right now listing.
Make it happen.
But I guess I got to finish watching Loki because when I was looking into it, I haven't finished watching. They're like, if some of this ties directly into it, I'm like,
Wait, how far along are you?
I got to an episode that made me rage quit, and I knew I would always get back to it.
Wait, which episode?
The train where they're trying to get on the train episode. Seemed, for me,
3 just
seemed maybe that was 3 or 4.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that's 3. Yeah.
Yeah. I love all those people, but I just and I know it'll probably all come clear as I get further into the show. But I was just like, I don't care about this episode. I don't understand why this episode is here. I don't care what's happening. I don't know what's happening. I'll just go watch Ted Lasso again. I mean,
you crotchety old fart. You
crotchety old fart. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Rocha, we can't be calling our guests that.
Yeah, he can.
We understand each other.
This is true.
I want to ask you.
You're gonna have to ask me. You're gonna have to probably have me back on your show after I finish Loki and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It was a big mistake, and now I get it."
text us when you're finished.
Okay, fair enough.
That is the one episode that people were kind of upset about. So it's no surprise that you're a little rage quit about it. But get through it. Trust me, it does get better.
It's worth it.
Richard E. Grant is coming. Come on.
Yeah, no, I know, and I would watch anything for Richard E. Grant, and
right.
Obviously things get spoiled on the internet, and I know a little bit, but I would continue for Richard E. Grant. I would continue for Tom Hiddleston. I'd continue for the character, and I was going to. I just haven't gotten back to it. I know, me too. Tom Hiddleston.
The entire cast.
Yeah. And I'm sorry I shaved my mustache before we did the show because I definitely had like a Mobius thing going on. For a while. It was like a sort of big bushy mustache, and everybody's like, who you remind me of. Yeah.
What if you for Halloween you could cosplay as Morbius and Tara could go as Sophie's character as Sylvie?
Loki. Yeah,
there.
That could work.
Done.
Boom.
I'm down.
Cute.
I wanna show you something, Yuri, that I've been raging about all show.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me your opinion on this because I'm not happy about it, and I want you to tell me if I'm wrong, if I'm right. Now, are you a Cobra Kai fan?
I am, but I have not caught up with all the seasons. I have not finished the most recent. As a matter of fact, the last 2 seasons. So
Same.
But yeah.
All right. But are you a fan of the Karate Kid movie?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I grew up that movie was everything. Yeah.
So who the heroes are and who the villains are in that movie. Is that correct?
Somebody capture this.
So
we're on Twitch. Somebody clip it.
When you go to a Target and you're wandering around late at night and you happen to go into the DVD Blu-ray section and you see this steelbook that has no LaRusso on the cover and it's all the Cobra Kai mofos. And wait, no, here's LaRusso way on the side here getting his butt kicked. You tell me if this is a valid cover for the Karate Kid. What are we talking about?
It is absolutely not, but now I'm going to Target. I have to own that. It feels like either a mistake, a Chinese, issue of the Karate Kid, which, although let's be honest, like if it was like a Chinese steelbook, one of those weird, bootlegs, it would be like pictures from Star Wars, and it would say the Karate Kid.
This is true. This is true.
But it feels like either a mistake or somebody over it, whoever, I don't know, is that who put that out?
Target put it out as a special steelbook. It's even signed by the artist there at the bottom. I need to find this artist and talk to him about this thing that he's drawn.
That artist has to be on Twitter. You've got to go. What?
Find him.
I mean, were they?
Which, by the way, no shade to the
fan?
artist. We like the art.
No.
We like the art.
It's amazing. Like I just literally said you would force me into a Target, and I haven't been going to any stores lately. But that is nuts,
right?
I'm less angry about it and more just I can't believe it.
But also, it looks like an old 70s martial arts poster, doesn't it? Like the design and everything, the colors.
And that makes it even cooler.
All right.
Sorry, John.
Right.
I have a rage boner right now. I'm like, I'm mad, but I'm weirdly aroused by the cover of this DVD or this steelbook. Oh my god!
All right, I just wanted to get your thoughts. All right, fine, I'll buy it.
I'm glad you did.
He's gonna go to Target after we finish our show
and buy all of them.
Let's swing back and we'll touch on Spider-Man before we rest, but let's swing back to this He-Man show that you're doing now, Yuri.
Yes.
I mean, this has been incredible. I mean, taking on Spider-Man is already a monumental task. Stepping into the shoes of He-Man, of Adam.
Boots, yeah.
I mean, did the Spider-Man experience kind of prepare you a little bit for this? Were you able to have a little bit more of a shorthand in taking on a role like, or was this a completely different approach for you?
It's complete. I mean, my approach is generally the same going into any of these. And that's, I bring whatever I had sort of naturally and whatever got me the call back or, whatever I brought into the room the first time.
Yeah.
And then if I end up getting cast, then I'm, working with, the director, the performance director,
right.
The voice director and whatever, creatives are in there. Not that voice director isn't a creative and they're creative in their own way, but so, on the project, whether those are producers or writers, showrunners, whose baby that show is. Yeah. And then we all sort of worked together and we worked on that. We tried a bunch of different things early on. Okay. And settled on what we got. And I really hope people like it. It's a stunning show. While I can't talk about the episodes, I have watched the first half of the first season, I think.
Right.
And it's so beautiful. Like it's great, but it is a departure from, the classic He-Man. There's a lot of stuff there for fans of the original show, but I'm sure some people are going to be angry about it because it's not the same.
Right. Just like they're angry about the Kevin Smith version as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're going to be angry about something. And, it's as much for fans of the show as it is for a new generation of kids, So, like, my son loves it. And that's really all I care about.
Wow. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're doing this with a bunch of veterans here. Greg Griffin is a voice on this. Tom Kenny is a voice on the Roger Craig Smith, Fred Tatasciore. I know we've interviewed both Roger and Fred in the past. Great guys. So were you guys working together, or was this one of those ones where it's in separate you're just recording all the lines in one thing?
Well, I'll tell you what, we started working together. And then COVID, and then we were working separately. But we were working in a Zoom. We were working. I know. We were working in a Zoom format. So that's how once we got into COVID world, we were doing it via Zoom, and it was nice. It was still nice to be able to see people's faces and to hear people and react off of people's stuff. It's not the same as being in the room, but arguably we got it done a lot faster because you put that many actors, those names that you just mentioned, all in a room together, and it's like this, and the director's like, Colette's like, we got to. That's a very funny joke. We've got to record a show. So
Tatasciore, for the love of God! All right,
I know.
Not another Hulk story, Jesus!
Those guys. We get that many like talented people in a room together. Everybody wants to show off. But props to like a couple of names though that you wouldn't recognize in there.
Okay.
And again, I'm still sort of. When the trailer dropped, I reached out to their PR people to go, hey, some people are already asking me if I want to talk about this and what can I talk about, and they haven't gotten back to me yet. So I'm gonna play my cards close to the vest. But
fair enough.
There are a couple of actors on there, and I don't want to mention anybody by name right now because I'm afraid I will forget some people who really deserve it. But let me leave it here. There are some names on that show you will not recognize, but you will after this show comes out.
Wow.
Nice. Yes.
And not just like one,
right?
Like a handful of people.
Wow.
Love it.
And they've all done stuff, but you mentioned a lot of those names. Oh yeah, Tom Kenny and Fred Tatasciore. But you'll recognize their names after this. Okay. And once I'm allowed to talk more freely, I'm happy to heap the praises on them. But yeah,
it's a hell of a stamp you just gave to those people, man. That's a
we love it.
Telling
exactly. We're swinging around Orbital Redux. This is out now. You've been talking about it on Twitter. Please tell people about it, promote it. This live action show that you
Thank you.
He's also cute in front of the camera, ladies and gentlemen. But what is this going? What is this?
Just what to say to a girl. Orbital Redux was a sci-fi show that we did for Legendary's Alpha Project platform back when that was a thing, and it was a weekly live action sci-fi show that was performed and broadcast live. So no stops and starts, no cuts, no edits, no putting in effects later. We said go, and it was like doing a play.
God, no pressure.
Right? I know it was the highest high wire I've ever walked, and it was hugely stressful. But when I look back on it, it's like one of my greatest achievements in my performing career. But because of the platform, not a lot of people saw it.
Right.
Because it was a new platform, and then it went away. Mm-hmm. But the effects were done live. The music was being performed by a band on stage while we were performing right outside the set. Right. So they were everything, all the edits, everything you see on the show was live. And one of the things that they, the Legendary wanted was that it had an interactive element. So people in the chat watching could sometimes throw us a curveball in the middle of a show.
Oh my God.
So sometimes at the beginning, we would have had to have prepared branching scripts.
Right.
And then right before we went live, the director would go, chat says they want this. and our brains would explode trying to remember what that exactly was. And then there were even a couple of moments where they're like, here's the thing from chat, improv. We're like, okay, and then get back to the story. So it was all that. And then the platform went away. We didn't get a season 2.
Right.
But the rights reverted back to us after that. And so what we did is we said, let's cut the basically, because it was live, but we were still recording it.
Right.
On like 10 cameras to capture all these different angles.
Jesus.
And we're about to drop some behind the scenes stuff because people still don't get what we did or don't even believe what we did. Right. But so what we did is we cut the best possible version of the show together, remastered some of the audio, did a little ADR for like dropouts, but only in a couple places. And then we cut the episodes together and we looked at them and we went, even without the gimmick, is this a show that we think holds together? And it does.
Yes.
I recently saw a screening on a big screen down at the Landmark Cinemas, and we watched all 8 episodes, and it held up on the big screen. So we started taking it around, and we finally landed at Dust, which is, I mean, still not a lot of people know about Dust, but if you love sci-fi, Dust is a great place, and you may have already heard of it if you do love sci-fi, because it's a big sort of sci-fi content aggregator.
Yeah.
They have their own sort of streaming thing. They have their own app. It might already be on your smart TV. And they've got their YouTube channel, and they stream content, all along that. And so all 8 episodes are there.
What Crypt TV does with horror, they do with sci-fi.
Exactly. Like Shudder. Yeah.
Yeah, Shudder. Exactly.
Yeah.
Love it.
So it was kind of in a way the perfect place to land that show because people are already going there for sci-fi, and it's hard sci-fi.
Right.
But all 8 episodes are there. You can go to watchdust.tv and find it. I think it's still on the cycling on the front page. Orbital Redux, 8 episodes. Go there and watch. I would love for people to watch it because I'm still like so proud of it. And as you're watching it, remember when we were doing the show, all of that was live.
Yeah,
like there were no stops.
That's insane.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Wow.
Yeah. The set was amazing. They built this 360 spaceship set with bits and pieces of actual like aircraft and old, Soyuz. They were running the Soyuz. I think some sort of computer program on there. All the screens were live. I could. All these switches that I was jamming were all like real, like physical things, which, is like, it's a huge gift to an actor. You guys are actors. I mean, like what a gift to be able to be in a set that's basically, for all intents and purposes, real. Yeah. And then we had LED panels outside the windows so they could project like explosions. They would put it up on the LED and we'd be looking out and you'd see it in real time. So it was such a gift. And the music, God, I could go on we should do like a whole other episode. Watch the show and come back.
You gotta come back.
I think I would totally do that.
I will. It was truly a landmark achievement, and I just want people to see it. And my hope, of course, is that so many people will watch it that Dust will be like, maybe we should greenlight a season 2.
Yeah.
And then we could do live again. And expand it.
So who was in the show with you? Who was in the show with you?
It was a small but mighty cast. My co-star Yaz Al-Bustami you will see her. She's been in a lot of little things that you might recognize her from. She was in the originals, and she was in Bria Grant's recent film Lucky, and she's popped up in a lot of places. But and there was an announcement on this, so I'm not ruining anything. She is one of the main cast of NCIS Hawaii, which is shooting now.
Oh my god!
So she was terrific to work with, but the cast was fantastic, and it was great. It was people I had worked with, some people I'd worked with before, some people I hadn't worked with before. Right. We became this this amazing little family, and we were all doing it live. And so, F it. We'll do it live. That's exactly right. And when we were doing it live, Allison Hayslip was like the host.
Nice.
So, yeah,
Oh,
you guys
we
know her.
love
Yeah.
Allison
Yeah.
Hayslip.
So Allison would like intro each show, and then we would do a little sort of post thing afterwards. We would like literally walk off the set onto a little couch and talk about what you just watched. So it was like The Talking Dead, but we had just done the show a minute ago.
Just still in your costume, hair,
Yeah.
makeup,
Yeah.
come
That
off the
is
set.
fantastic. Wow.
Wow.
So,
It's
yeah.
describing, listening to you describe like the live, how the audience can, or the chat can affect, you know, what otherwise it's, you know, a kind of like a outline of a script. I don't want to say you follow it because it is live.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like literally like playing D&D, except like you're not rolling the dice. You're physically going through the motion.
I was rolling the dice with my life.
Like, come on, nat 20.
I was like, yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Oh man,
Well-
and I will, you know, no spoilers, but we did not always roll a nat 20. You know,
Natural one.
Well,
Yeah.
It's not always going to work out, but at least you got both of you had the guts to do it. I mean, Justin Toner says, "Wow, this is so cool." I love pork and chicken. Said, I'm going to check this afterwards.
Nice, thank you,
Yes.
thank you.
And a thanks saying that's cool.
Yes,
So
please.
you got a lot of people who might be interested in
Nice.
doing watching this
Nice.
thing for sure.
Yes,
Maybe
watch
we will.
watchdust.tv and then
TV.
find.
I want to
yeah, and
watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of want to
You
watch
should
that one
watch-
too.
I'll send you the link.
How long are the episodes? 30 or 45 or an hour?
No. It's they were shorter. They probably averaged around 20, 22 minutes.
Really?
Oh my God, we can
You
binge the whole
You
series.
can finish
Totally.
that in 3 hours. For
Yeah,
God's
you can.
sake.
Yeah,
Okay.
3 hours will get you through the whole thing, all 8 episodes.
I did a whole
And
season of
each
Ted Lasso one
episode,
night. Come on. Yeah.
right? And each episode, are you already caught up today? Because I had to.
I got all 8 episodes. First 8 episodes. So I'm
you're
ahead of everybody right now.
I don't even want to look in your eyes right now. I'm afraid you're going to give something away.
Trust me.
But with each episode of Orbital Redux, they would also try to, like, it wasn't hard enough to start. The director would be like, what if we tried this impossible thing, you know, live? And be like, oh God. So like each episode kind of ups the ante in one way or another.
Oh, you got to know your character's backstory real well to be able to say like, this is their motivation for making this choice. Or something. Wow.
Yeah.
So impressive.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yuri, let's play D&D. That sounds like, let's do it.
I've got one regular game that I've got right now.
Ooh.
We can do a one shot with Rocha. He's never played before.
I've never, no. It
I
was
know.
something-
So
yeah.
we were thinking of like maybe doing one shot, like 2-3 hours.
I was kind of
in a day.
at you guys
Yeah.
and laughing in high school,
Yeah.
but so now I
Well, I guess this is sweet vengeance, Rocha.
I'm gonna send you a set of dice.
Thing I didn't do. It was the one nerdy thing I didn't do. Yeah.
Hey,
Send
know
you a
what?
set of dice.
It's
You'll
okay.
play.
It's okay.
Well, I want to give you this. David Cooper says, "Woohoo! Just downloaded the Dust app. The episodes of Orbital Redux are there.
Yes.
I'm watching it tonight. So there you
David Cooper, you're my hero. Yes.
go. There you go. So good stuff. I'm happy for
love
that. All right. Well, Yuri, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for taking the time. We know you're a busy guy. So
But it was so good to see you guys and hang out.
Good to
and-
see you. I know.
Yeah.
I want to do it in person.
I know.
I will
Maybe
let you go.
2022.
2022 is our year.
We said this in 2020.
I know. 2021.
We
is gonna be
all
the
said-
one.
There's literally been DMs between Yuri and I, like, we're gonna do this. Yeah, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be fine.
It's
Fast
gonna be
forward.
I know.
There's another variant. Talk to me,
All right.
Yuri. We'll tell people anything you got to promote, anything other than obviously Orbital Redux, which you just been promoting. Is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to tell people out? And obviously, you can follow Yuri at Yuri Lowenthal on Instagram and Twitter. But anything else you got going on?
Watch Orbital Redux. We're doing a live, both Tara and I and a bunch of other people are doing live signing, autograph signing through Streamily this weekend and next weekend. You can go to Streamily, STREAMILY.com/Yuri Lowenthal to check out what sort of shots I'm going to be autographing, and then we do it live, and then they send them out to you. And it's a bunch of different characters from a bunch of different shows. If you haven't watched Dota Dragon's Blood on Netflix, I've got some autograph picture for that. All sorts of anime stuff. Of course, I've got like I even commissioned some Sasuke fan art. Somebody to do a Sasuke piece for this signing. They killed it. It was great. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's this weekend and next week. This Sunday, next Sunday. But if you check out at Streamily, there are a whole bunch of other people signing too. So you can, if you don't like me, which is totally cool, there's somebody there you're gonna like.
Who?
My wife, Tara Platt. Oh, no, she doesn't not like me. Right.
That's what that was
also
for.
signing. Yeah. But
awesome.
we
love Tara too.
For He-Man.
Yeah, we love Tara too.
I know. Keep an eye out for He-Man and someday more Dota Dragon's Blood. I don't know when, but someday.
All right. Well, we love you, man. Thanks so much, dude.
Love you guys.
Get back to that beautiful sun of yours, and we will talk to you. Go ahead, Wendy.
Quick plug for my friend. Yuri was on a podcast called The Interesting Podcast, hosted by my friend Brian Ballens. So if you guys want to know more about Yuri, it's like hour and a half.
It's like an hour. Yeah.
Like
wow.
Yeah. Very casual conversation, but it's a fun one.
It was gonna be shorter, but then I got a crush on Brian, and so we talked longer. So.
Isn't he so easy to talk to?
The best. Yeah.
Don't you go cheating on me. All right. Thank you all.
You'll still be my we're still the OTP.
Number one. Yeah.
That's right. All right, do your thing, man. Give our best to Tara, please, brother. And I
will.
We'll talk to you very, very soon. Thanks for taking the time again, Yuri.
Thanks for having me.
Yuri.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All right.
Oh, he's so great.
I know he's the best. I love hanging out with him. It's always great to see him. He's the brightest sun. I don't know. He's the brightest light I've ever been around, and we've always had great conversations.
Such a cool dude.
For a guy who's done so much to be still so down to earth, still so humble about what he's doing, it's a rarity in this business, ladies and gentlemen. But you do find it in the voiceover world way more than you do on camera.
I agree.
Man, it's great.
I agree. Almost all the voiceover people that I've met are just like the nicest.
Yeah, they're genuinely
super helpful people. You know how some actors, small percentage, or kind of get a little competitive, and they like don't want to like tell you what class they're taking or where, and you know, like, oh, this service really helped me, or like whatever, and like voiceover.
Yeah.
You know, artists. Here, let me give you all my resources. I was like, whoa. Yeah.
And let me help you. Let me help you. Let me suggest you for other things. Like that's what
not enough recognition
hosting the show. Yeah,
for those people. Yeah,
it's true. Very true. And Tiffany, our friend Tiffany Smith is now part of those people, which is great.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's start. That's our show for this week. John and Wendy save the world. Thank you all. Explain the world, rather. Thank you all so much for hanging out.
Save the world. Yes.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Madly, thanks for the Streamlabs and the super chats, and thanks for being such great people for Yuri and leaving such great comments for him to take a look at and enjoy. Don't forget Orbital Redux, that is out there for you all to watch there, and of course his signings on Streamily. Wendy, thanks again. Another great show. Where can they find you and everything you got going on?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at just this right here. My name, Wendy Lizani, on Instagram. Post geek fashion looks and whatever I want to talk about when it comes to really geeky stuff, Star Wars, DC, Marvel, all the Disney stuff. Twitter, also the same. Usually, I don't know. The Movie Couple channel right up here on there, posting trailer reactions, movie reviews, and bringing back the vlogs. It's a slow process. We're bringing them back. Nice. Yeah.
I dig it. Well, you can always find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram, on Twitch, The Outlaw Nation, all one word. Please remember to subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that bell button so you see where we're dropping all the content you guys have seen. More reviews, more trailer reactions, more live shows, all of it happening here every week on the channel. Great stuff. Don't forget tomorrow, Strong Style, the pro wrestling show, and we'll have the Ultimate Schmodown after show as well tomorrow. And I'll probably be dropping the Ted Lasso review and my Candyman review. If not tonight, probably tomorrow morning. There's so much to dissect in that movie. So just letting you know ahead of time how that's going to go. But we love you madly. Take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new live episode of John and Wendy Explain the World. Peace.